There is something dangerous about the way we think. We believe failure always arrives with noise. We imagine it comes like an earthquake, a storm, or an explosion that everyone can see. But reality is much quieter than that. Failure often begins with something so small that it doesn't even deserve our attention, or so we think. One small shortcut, one ignored warning, one excuse repeated every day. None of these seem powerful enough to change a life, yet history proves otherwise. The tragedy of USAir 405 reminds us that great disasters are rarely created in a single moment. They are usually built piece by piece. Tiny decisions made over minutes or even seconds combine until there is no room left to recover. This is exactly how many people lose their dreams. Not because they lack talent, not because they lack opportunity. They lose because they underestimate the importance of the little things. Yokoi Kenji often teaches that success is not a miracle reserved for extraordinary people. It is the natural result of ordinary people doing ordinary things with extraordinary consistency. Failure works the same way. It is not always caused by one terrible decision. It is often the result of small acts of carelessness repeated over time until they become a habit. Look at your own life. Maybe your biggest obstacle is not your competition. Maybe it is the alarm you ignore every morning. Maybe it is the promise you keep making to yourself but never fulfill. Maybe it is the book you never open, the skill you never practice, or the conversation you continue to postpone. None of these feel important today, but every day they quietly shape the person you are becoming. People love to blame luck. They say, if only I had better opportunities. But opportunities rarely abandon disciplined people. More often, discipline abandons people long before opportunities arrive. Luck may open a door, but only preparation allows you to walk through it. Imagine placing a single drop of water on a rock. Nothing changes. Add another drop, and still nothing changes. Continue for years, and that same water carves a path through solid stone. Small actions possess incredible power when they are repeated. This law works in both directions. Good habits build an extraordinary future, while bad habits slowly destroy it. The greatest danger is that small mistakes rarely hurt immediately. That is why people continue repeating them. They think nothing happened yesterday, so nothing will happen tomorrow. But consequences do not always follow instantly. Sometimes they wait patiently until every small mistake has gathered enough strength to reveal its true cost. Do not wait for life to punish you before you respect the little things. Respect your time even when no one is watching. Respect your commitments even when no one reminds you. Respect your preparation even when success still feels far away. Because the person who masters small responsibilities today is the same person who will be trusted with great victories tomorrow. Never underestimate what seems insignificant. A single habit can change your future. A single decision can redirect your destiny. A single disciplined choice, repeated every day, can accomplish what talent alone never could. That is why wise people do not chase dramatic changes. They protect the little things, knowing that the little things eventually become everything. Confidence is a beautiful thing, but confidence without preparation is only hope wearing a disguise. Many people believe that because they have done something many times before, they are automatically ready for the next challenge. They trust their experience more than their preparation, but life has a way of reminding us that yesterday's success is not a guarantee of tomorrow's victory. The lesson from USAir 405 is not that confidence is dangerous. The lesson is that confidence becomes dangerous the moment it replaces careful preparation. There is a quiet difference between believing in yourself and assuming nothing can go wrong. One builds strength, the other invites failure. Yokoi Kenji often speaks about discipline as something far more valuable than motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Some mornings you wake up excited, and other mornings you don't. If your success depends only on how motivated you feel, your future will always be uncertain. Preparation, however, does not ask how you feel. It simply asks whether you are willing to do what must be done every single day. Think about the bamboo tree. For years, it grows beneath the surface where no one can see it. People walk past it, believing nothing is happening. Then, when the time is right, it rises rapidly toward the sky. What people call sudden success is actually the result of years of invisible preparation. The same principle applies to every meaningful achievement. The strongest victories are built long before anyone applauds them. Many people admire champions when they stand on the podium, but very few admire the lonely mornings, the repeated practice, the sacrifices, and the discipline that made that moment possible. Success is not created in the spotlight. It is created in the quiet hours when no one is watching. Ask yourself a simple question. If opportunity knocked on your door today, would you truly be ready? Most people pray for bigger opportunities while ignoring the preparation those opportunities demand. They ask for promotion without improving their skills. They ask for success without managing their time. They ask for change while refusing to change themselves. Preparation is an act of respect. It shows respect for your goals, your responsibilities, and the people who depend on you. A student who studies before the exam respects knowledge. An athlete who trains before the competition respects the game. A leader who plans before making decisions respects those who follow. Preparation is not about expecting failure. It is about honoring success before it arrives. There is a saying that luck favors the prepared. Whether you call it luck, opportunity, or blessing, the principle remains the same. Doors open for many people, but only those who have prepared can walk through them with confidence that is earned rather than imagined. Do not confuse being busy with being prepared. A person can spend the entire day working and still avoid the one task that truly matters. Preparation requires intention. It requires honesty. It asks you to identify your weaknesses before the world does. It challenges you to improve before circumstances force you to. Every day gives you a chance to prepare for a future you cannot yet see. Read one more page, practice one more hour, learn one more skill, ask one more question, correct one more mistake. These actions may seem ordinary, but ordinary actions repeated with discipline create extraordinary lives. Real confidence is never loud. It does not boast or seek attention. It remains calm because it knows the work has already been done. When preparation becomes your daily habit, confidence stops being an empty feeling and becomes the natural result of discipline. And that kind of confidence can face any challenge without fear, because it is built on a foundation that no storm can easily shake. There is an enemy that never announces its arrival. It does not knock on your door, raise its voice, or warn you before it takes away your dreams. It enters quietly, dressed as comfort. It whispers, "You have done enough, relax. You already know what you're doing." That enemy is complacency, and it has defeated more talented people than lack of ability ever has. The danger of complacency is that it feels safe. It convinces you that because nothing bad happened yesterday, nothing bad will happen tomorrow. It tells you that one more short cut will not matter, that one missed practice session is harmless, that one ignored responsibility can wait until later. Day after day, these thoughts become habits, and habits eventually become destiny. The story behind USAir 405 reminds us that disaster does not always begin with a dramatic mistake. Sometimes it begins with the belief that everything is under control. When people stop questioning themselves, stop checking the details, and stop learning because they think they already know enough, they unknowingly leave the door open for failure. Yokoi Kenji often reminds people that discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. But there is another truth hidden inside that lesson. Discipline only survives where humility exists. The moment pride enters, discipline begins to disappear. A person who remains humble keeps learning. A person who believes they have already mastered everything stops growing. Look at nature. A tree that continues to grow develops deeper roots every year. But the tree that stops growing becomes weaker with time, even if it still looks strong from the outside. Human beings are no different. You may appear successful, experienced, or talented, but if you stop improving, your strength slowly begins to fade without you noticing. Many people think success is reaching the top. In reality, the hardest part begins after you get there. Climbing a mountain demands effort, but staying at the summit demands constant awareness. One careless step can erase years of hard work. That is why the most successful people are often the most disciplined. They understand that yesterday's achievements do not protect today's responsibilities. Ask yourself this question: when was the last time you challenged your own routine? When was the last time you admitted, "I can do this better"? Growth begins the moment you become honest with yourself, not when others criticize you, but when you are willing to examine your own weaknesses before anyone else points them out. Complacency makes people compare themselves with those who are behind them. Discipline makes people compare themselves with the person they were yesterday. That is a powerful difference. If your goal is only to stay ahead of others, eventually someone will surpass you. But if your goal is to become better every single day, your greatest competition becomes your own potential. Never allow success to make you comfortable. Let it make you responsible. Every achievement should remind you that there is still more to learn, more character to build, and more discipline to practice. The moment you believe you have arrived, your progress quietly begins to stop. Stay curious even when you are experienced. Stay teachable even when you are respected. Stay disciplined even when you are successful. The people who leave the greatest legacy are not those who knew everything. They are those who never stopped learning. True strength is not found in saying, "I have nothing left to improve." True strength is found in waking up every morning with the courage to ask, "What can I do better today?" That simple question protects you from complacency, keeps your mind sharp, your character humble, and your future moving forward, one disciplined step at a time. If you ask most people what creates a successful life, they will mention intelligence, talent, money, or opportunity. Very few will answer with a simple word like discipline. Yet when you look closely at every great achievement, you discover that extraordinary lives are rarely built on extraordinary moments. They are built on ordinary actions repeated with consistency. The lesson that echoes from USAir 405 is not only about avoiding mistakes, it is about respecting every detail. A great outcome is never an accident. It is the result of hundreds of small decisions made correctly long before anyone notices the final result. The smallest detail may seem invisible today, but tomorrow it may become the reason you stand or the reason you fall. Yokoi Kenji often reminds us that discipline is more important than talent because talent can open a door, but only discipline allows you to remain inside the room. There are countless talented people who never reached their potential, not because they lacked ability, but because they lacked consistency. On the other hand, there are ordinary people who changed their lives simply because they refused to abandon the habits that made them stronger every day. Think about a craftsman carving a statue from a block of stone. One strike of the hammer changes almost nothing. 2 strikes seem just as meaningless. Even after 100 strikes, the stone may appear unchanged. Then suddenly, one final strike causes the stone to split. People praise the last strike, but they forget that it was made possible by every strike before it. Success works exactly the same way. Every disciplined action matters, even when you cannot immediately see the results. We live in a generation that celebrates speed. Everyone wants quick results, instant recognition, and overnight success. But nature has never worked that way. A seed does not become a tree because it wishes to. It grows because every day it receives water, sunlight, and time. If even one of those is ignored for too long, growth begins to suffer. Your dreams are no different. They require daily care, not occasional excitement. Many people wait until they feel inspired before taking action. But inspiration is unreliable. Some days it appears, and some days it disappears. Discipline does not depend on emotions. It says, whether I feel like it or not, I will keep moving. That is why disciplined people continue growing while others remain trapped, waiting for the perfect mood that never comes. Look at your daily routine. The way you spend one ordinary day eventually becomes the way you spend your life. If you protect your mornings, you protect your future. If you respect your time, you respect your purpose. If you keep your promises to yourself, your confidence grows naturally because you begin to trust your own character. Do not underestimate the value of reading a few pages every day, practicing one skill a little longer, arriving on time, listening carefully, or finishing what you started. These actions seem too small to matter, yet they quietly build a reputation, a mindset, and a future that no one can take away from you. The world often notices the trophy, but it rarely notices the thousands of disciplined choices that earned it. There is another truth we often forget. Discipline is not punishment, it is freedom. When you manage your habits stop controlling you. When you master your time, time stops slipping away unnoticed. When you train your mind to do what is right instead of what is easy, you become free from excuses, free from regret, and free from the fear of wasted potential. Every detail deserves your respect because every detail is connected to something greater. A single conversation can build trust. A single act of kindness can restore hope. A single lesson learned today can save you from failure tomorrow. Never say, "It's only a small thing." History has proven that small things often carry the greatest weight. The people who leave a lasting legacy are not those who perform one incredible act. They are those who choose excellence in the ordinary moments of life. They continue learning when others stop. They continue preparing when others become comfortable. They continue improving when others become satisfied. Day after day, those small, disciplined choices become a foundation so strong that when the storms of life arrive, they remain standing while everything built on shortcuts begins to collapse. Your future is being written long before the world applauds you. It is written in the quiet moments when no one is watching, in the choices that seem too small to matter, and in the discipline to honor every detail. Those who remain faithful to the little things eventually discover that the little things were never little at all. They were the very reason greatness became possible. When the story of USAir 405 is remembered, it should not only remind us of a tragedy in aviation, it should remind us of a truth that reaches far beyond the runway. Every life is constantly preparing for takeoff toward a dream, a purpose, or a legacy. The question is not whether the opportunity will come. The question is whether we will be ready when it does. Never allow small mistakes to become permanent habits. Never let confidence replace preparation. Never let success make you comfortable, and never ignore the little details that shape your future. These are not merely lessons from history, they are principles that can protect your own destiny. Every sunrise gives you another chance to choose discipline over excuses, preparation over assumption, humility over pride, and consistency over comfort. The path to greatness is not hidden from anyone. It is simply walked by very few because it demands patience, responsibility, and the courage to improve every single day. Remember this whenever life places you on the edge of your next great opportunity. Victories are not decided in the moment the world is watching. They are decided long before in the unseen choices, the quiet discipline, and the respect you give to every small responsibility. Build those habits with unwavering commitment, and no matter how fierce the storms become, you will possess something stronger than luck, stronger than talent, and stronger than fear, a character prepared to rise, a mind prepared to lead, and a legacy prepared to endure.